What up, though? Yeah, I got my echo. Y'all can't y'all hear that?
No, they not
Oh,
here.
y'all can't hear that?
They not even here.
I thought I could hear it. Welcome to another episode of Mentally Ill with Dez Cortez. I am Dez Cortez. Of course, to my left is my motherfucking homeboy.
What's
Since
up,
day one, Mr. Hayes. What's happening, my dog?
Hey, same old, man.
How you feel?
I feel pretty good, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I feel real good right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting
That's
out here.
good.
I had a crazy day today.
Straight up? Me too, dog. But I feel better now, dog.
Me too, man.
We gonna talk about that too. We gonna talk about that
For
too.
sure.
And to the left is, of course, my Hillary. Miss Lisa, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
I'm thankful that you're here.
Thank you.
So you can definitely let us know what we're talking about in the terms that we need to be saying it in.
Okay.
Because we like kids with it. We like, you know what I mean? So make sure that you explain like what we really think we saying.
Okay.
If you possibly can.
I got you.
But today, which is a continuation of a show basically from 2 weeks ago, because we just got so off subject.
Yeah, for sure.
And I probably lost
Round two.
I probably lost a bunch of friends. I didn't even see if my followers went down after that show.
You stupid.
Because we kind of,
It's okay.
we kind of laid it on.
What's
But,
done
you
is
know,
done.
No, I needed to hear it though.
It was
I was about to say, what's
You
You know
done
what I
is
mean?
done, man. Ain't no, yeah.
I definitely. But it was supposed to be the spirituality of sex and how it affects you spiritually, mentally, your third eye, your chakras, all that. You know what I mean? So I want to really dive into it because it's a lot deeper than what people think. And everybody out here, just doing their motherfucking thing. So I think if they have an opportunity to really understand what's going on with them in the other realm, quote unquote, then I think people will be more inclined to slowing down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So just to break it open, what sex, like what chakra does that?
That's a lot
Work
of
with the most.
root chakra and sacral chakra energy.
Okay.
So like your root chakra is going to be the tailbone of your spine, like what everybody like is pretty much sitting on today. And that connects you to like your rooting and your grounding and your foundation. And then like your sacral chakra is going to give you more of that sensuality and sexuality. So those are more of the organs that gives you that. And there are a lot of people like your sacral chakra can be overworked. And so you can be like an over creative or overstimulator because it's also a creativity center, but there has to be a balance. And then there's some people whose sacral chakra is completely underactive from a lot of things, especially black women, from fibroids or from babies or from tumors or from all those things, or just an unhealthy gut. You can have an unhealthy sacral chakra, which will turn down like your sex drive, your sex organs, and you'll be thinking that it's something else, and it won't be that, even in fertility. So the root chakra and the sacral chakra like are really big deals, in sexuality with women and men.
So how many is it again? How many chakras is it? Right.
It's a lot, but we only really discuss 7. So we
Okay.
go from the root all the way to the crown.
Okay.
But the root chakra and the sacral chakra, that's the first and the second chakra.
Okay. So the first and the second have
The
to
first
do
and the second.
with sex, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
About rebirth and the coming together to create a life. So
At the pelvis, too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. But everything makes perfect sense. Like that's what, like
No,
this
it's
shit, and that's what I'm saying.
No,
Like
it's
when
real.
I first really started thinking about the mental, like I thought like I was gonna have to reach for the spirituality stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I thought I was gonna have to root this here and do this and read this and do this and do this, and really it just makes perfect sense. Like
Yeah.
it's something that people should definitely just even think about, and then they'd be like, well, I mean, they got to. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
really makes perfect sense. So also too, do you give of yourself other than the sexual experience?
You mean in all of your chakras operating?
Yeah, like
Absolutely. So in that, like, too, it's probably a lot of heart chakra energy for people. Or people will say that women get more attached to certain situations because of the way that we operate. And so if you have a weak heart chakra and somebody comes in and stimulates your heart chakra and your sacral chakra, this is love. Do you see what I'm saying? Even if it's not love, this is love. They made me feel like this. She made me feel like this. They did this to me. And you'll confuse those sensations with different emotions because you had maybe underactive emotions in there, you know. But if you, so it's really good to be wrong. Like I had told my friends like a long time ago, and I'm just saying this very blatantly, but you shouldn't fuck no more niggas with no sick dicks. Like unless you like on your way to healing, but if you just still walking around these streets just unconscious and dumb, like get that shit away from me.
Right.
Like you got to be working towards something because you're also exchanging like. This is really, I mean, at the root of it, it's spell work. You're exchanging bodily fluids.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. So
and then you're stating words over them while you're exchanging bodily fluids.
What are you really
and then you be tripping when people get to tripping. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because everybody cannot handle that if they are not healed within themselves.
But that shit is so serious because you got these punk ass niggas out here who killing these women about these relationships and shit like that. That shit is deep as hell. It gotta be like, it can't, like, dog, like, how can that lead you to do some shit like that? That shit is unbelievable to me. So that's what I'm saying. It has to be something way deeper than us just saying nigga pussy whip.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Right.
I mean, too, like just based on the way they were raised, and did they have that parental figure or something by that person in their life, and then somebody comes along and they sweep you off your feet, and so you think this is the best human being in the world, and you get lost. So you're probably really mentally ill, you know, on every level, and then all these different energies are opened up inside of you. Like it's very uncontrollable if you don't even know yourself. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't. You get in these relationships with these people, and then you break bread, and then you have these vows that you quote in front of the Lord, and both of y'all full of shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like everybody kind of knows it before they kind of get there, but they're doing their best, you know, in that space. But many times your best isn't good enough because it vaguely works, you know, like it just works from time to time in it. But if you really worked on yourself, or like even if people come to me and want to counsel about, like we'll do readings or tarot, like, well, what do you think about us together? No, how are you individually? Because if you're not okay individually, this is never going to be okay together.
Right.
Like it's just not going to be, because somebody's going to be reaching for something in somebody else that they're not going to be able to provide.
Yeah, I just, you got to go into a relationship with somebody who don't need you. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Flat out. You know what I mean?
Like I can feel that.
It got to be strictly a want situation.
I totally agree.
Because that changes everything once a motherfucker needs you. And even if you're on the other side of the shit, you might be acting like it don't change shit. But no, a motherfucker needs you, you're going to exploit that shit. It's just human nature.
It's everything. I completely agree with you.
So, and I mean, so also too, and that's what I tell my daughter, like I really want her to go after who she wants to be first.
Yeah.
And with me finally understanding what really loving myself was, then I said, oh, damn, that's why shit wasn't, that's why I was doing that
everything
dumb
makes
shit.
perfect
It
sense.
makes perfect motherfucking sense about what I was doing and why I was doing it. And it ain't that it can't happen again, but it shows you the path to stay away from that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's something that's greater than what people understand right now.
Absolutely.
Like we always looking for that shit from somebody else. When that shit is right motherfucking here,
you
dog.
have to do it for yourself.
You gotta do it for yourself.
And if you gotta be staying, if you understood even going over the chakras and said these things just even over to yourself, it takes you away from a lot of that energy that comes from it that you feel like you would need. Or like usually there's a lot of things that happen in the heart chakra and the sacral chakra. And so if your heart is broken, or if you're dealing with grief or loss, well, then you're not in your right mind, you know. So then throat chakra's not working properly. Either you won't shut the fuck up, or you're not talking enough, you know, however that works. Sacral chakra's not going good because you're not just going to go with the flow of life. You're going to go with wherever your heart gets stagnant. And the energy is real because everybody knows people can die of a broken heart. So energetically, you can pull this energy to yourself to make your heart be sick and die like that, you know, but they only think it's serious in those type of situations. It doesn't really get discussed as a natural discussion every day or something you should do to your heart every day, you know. Shit, niggas I know, they be good with they beef, like, I ain't talk to that nigga, just like they be holding that shit strong, like I'm gonna take this to the grave, you know, like you still mad, like, you know, right, and you still feel some type of way, which internally is affecting your organs in some type of way, because the heart chakra deals with love and, and releasing and forgiving. And so if you're holding yourself stagnant, that's blocking arteries, blocking sensations inside of your body that just can't go because, we just want to be so tough. That's one thing about,
that's a motherfucker.
alpha men, just this, they want to stand on that, but they end up dying on that, internally because they just can't take it. One day it's okay and then one day it's not, so it's just whatever happened, I would just always say whatever happened, like let it go, like forgive, release, let go, whatever it is, just don't hold on to it.
Man. Dog.
That's deep. She just hit like so many different points.
I can I be stuck, dog. Like, people wondering, like, because I don't know. It's so many things to ask. Like, I don't, because I know once we go there, the direction is going to be there and whatever. So I just be, I just be stuck sometimes because that shit really be hitting me hard because this shit makes perfect motherfucking sense. Mm-hmm. And when you put it together, you kind of be like, damn, why I ain't thinking about that shit before?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just if you don't know, and nobody's taught you that, so they haven't taught you. And then, first of all, just as black people anyway, it took us a while to go to therapy if we finally even ever make it to therapy. Mm-hmm. And then trying to learn some other level of consciousness, well, that's just stupid. Shut up and here's your Bible, So like even having these types of conversations aren't ones that are really held in households. The conversations aren't there.
How much spirit am I leaving when I go to a woman's house? I have sex with her. What am I leaving spiritually there? Am I leaving a couple ancestors there?
You never know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like really, like.
See, this is the thing. No, for real. You don't know. Like you don't know what you're doing. That's why those connections are so important, and that's why you shouldn't just be dropping and downloading just in everybody because you don't know what you're leaving or what they're giving you. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about STDs. I'm talking about energetically. Have you just been with somebody and after you left, like, oh, they just make me feel some type of but then what else gets stuck on you, after that, and you don't know. And then some women are very, they do their thing and they may be purposely doing these things because women know what they do. I'm just saying, women know what they
Did you say some?
I said some.
100%.
Listen, because women know what they're doing. And then men still continuously get tricked on a daily basis.
Because
you understand?
Right?
Right, that's real. But if you understood yourself and if you went into it outside of like, oh, she just got a bomb body or her face, but energetically, what are they giving you?
But you're not going to do that until you love yourself.
I think you'll have to, you're going to have to be in some place of consciousness with yourself that you accept, that you wouldn't even put up with certain situations.
Pretty much fucking them hoes just because really you trying to fix the empty shit that's in you, and that's what I had to see. You know what I mean? Like, I had to really read up on some shit. Like, oh, nigga, you the hoe. Like, you got all the hoes. Oh, no, nigga. No, nigga.
Right, I feel
I think you might be the hoe, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at some point, motherfuckers gotta really start understanding what it really is. And more people want to look a certain way and do certain shit too.
Right.
And that's what I see too. Like, nigga gotta be a playboy, gotta do this, gotta do that. Like,
but why?
But because they don't love them. So, you know what I mean? Like, when you love yourself, like, that shit don't even cross your mind. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even think about that type of shit.
Listen, you should be so particular. Like, literally, I'm particular. Like, unless I'm at the grocery store, I'm particular. Like, who's standing next to me? Do you understand? Who the fuck am I in the room with, breathing air with? That you're even saying that to me. Right. This is what I'm saying. Like, in all those spaces. So then for us to be together in that type of way, can you imagine how particular I must be then? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, just even I'm funny. Like, so what do you eat? Or what do you drink? Because then ultimately that's still coming on me. So I could be sitting here living this hella prosperous life and doing all this shit. You already know it take one bad situation to turn your whole life around in 1 second. Like, was that pork? Can you just give me some pork? I want some bacon. Like, no. No. Like, I'm like, well, how are you? Are you cleansing your system? What are you doing? Because if we're exchanging all of these things, like, this is coming back to me. Mm-hmm. So how much do I care about myself?
Exactly.
Like, I have to, like, I have a standard for myself. So I absolutely have to have a standard
Are the ancestors
for the person
happy with me
Right.
fucking with this rat bitch.
And you already know the answer to that.
Absolutely not.
You already know the answer to that.
For real. That's what I had to, that's what I had to think about. But if that'll keep you from doing the shit, then that's what niggas fucking need to think about.
But then the real truth is then too is like the people that I know typically that are like that, like something else is going on. Like you're trying to feed something else inside of you that you're not okay.
I know exactly why I was doing that shit. Because, like I said, I was the man. And at no point in my life did I think that I was going to fall off like what happened when I got the Crohn's up at Central and how everything went down. Right. And when that shit happened and then everybody stopped treating me a certain way and start, you know what I mean? Like that shit broke. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, shit. I'm still going to have some hoes at least, you know what I mean? Like, they're still going to have some hoes. Like, that, you know what I mean? Like, but that was just to fill the empty part because I wasn't who I thought I was going to be at that time, and I didn't know what the fuck happened, and I didn't know how I was going to get up out of that shit. Right. But that was the depression aspect of everything, too. Right. You know what I mean? So, like, when people see all this shit working together, then they'll have a better understanding. But also, when women understand that shit, they won't be like, because I know women who go after a man just because he has a lot of sex.
Right. And, and that's interesting, like, because I'm not judging anybody on where they decide to take space up in the planet. It's just that just understanding.
That's a great way to say it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm very respectful. I'm trying to be respectful. Because some people enjoy that, and you do, but understand too that generally means that something is going on in the chakras. Exactly. Like something is not balanced. If like that's all you want to do is have sex, or if that's all you want to do is go take men's money, like something is going on in you that you don't feel. That to me, that's solar plexus energy. Like your self-esteem is weak, where you feel as though you can't handle this on your own, so therefore you have to go after men like this, but you're portraying a certain role, and that's no disrespect. It's just the truth when you when you lay it out like that.
And that's what you look at now, like when you see that shit. Before I just saw hoes, you know what I mean? But now I see like a cry for help type shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a whole nother motherfucking world about what I'm thinking about. Like, it ain't like it's on some like this motherfucker needs some help.
Something wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's great to even start thinking about shit like that because the way that you walk is gonna be so different. It's gonna change so much. And you're not gonna even think about it until you look up and be like, damn, I wouldn't have been doing none of this shit. Right.
Or until when you don't wake up sometimes and then you deliver 4 or 5 children by somebody. Do you understand? And then now you're trying to fix all of this in them and in her and in you and in us.
I got a nigga with so many kids. I done lost count how many nigga had kids he had about 3 times, dog.
That's for sure.
I done lost count about 3 times.
I know a few people like that, real talk. Quite a few.
But he just...
Them the ones that made it.
You understand it. You understand where he had meant. You know what I mean? Like, all the other shit that he do make perfect motherfucking sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just crazy that a broke down motherfucker go for another broke down motherfucker mentally, physically, or whatever, and then they'll get together and just tear each other more motherfucker down.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you also have to understand that your body is used to the trauma. So continually, if you were raised in trauma and then you keep being in trauma, that's where you feel most comfortable. So you're going to be okay. Like, you're going to be okay in that.
When I was in a situation where it wasn't no, like, shit going down, I ain't going to lie, I didn't feel right.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Like, I didn't feel right sitting in Miss Tina crib, dog, because everything was right and perfect and clean, and it was no, like, that shit fucked with me, dog, because I had really never been in that type of situation for real.
It's a trauma
you can think about that shit or whatever, but when you out of that shit for real, nigga.
Yeah.
But also, I get this shit like, why am I here? Like, I want everybody, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so many different shit that motherfuckers go through that you just don't even understand what's really happening with your soul. And that you love the trauma, or that you're accustomed to it, or that you're addicted to that shit.
Right.
Some people are addicted to that shit. I don't understand how they watch them TV shows where they be arguing with each other all the motherfucking time. I can't stand that shit. I don't even like to see Judge Judy yelling at people, dog.
Right.
I just don't like to see that shit, bro. I done saw that shit my whole motherfucking life.
I feel you. I done saw enough judges.
This shit, right. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to hand it down no punishments and shit. Like, I don't want to see none of that shit. I'll be the worst cop in the world, nigga.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I would never make quota.
I was about to say, you've been there.
Ever.
What you doing?
Ever.
What you do? Hey, where
I'll
you
be
going?
sleep in my car all the motherfucking time.
Dang. Nah, I feel you.
Wouldn't arrest a damn person. Let everybody go.
You learn your lesson?
I'm just
All right
not
now.
with that shit, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just not with that shit.
Right.
But all right, so let's talk about a little bit earlier. And you weren't even here yet.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
I was a little.
I forgot about.
First of all, like I said, I had a crazy week or whatever, but I was a little stressed out about something.
Oh,
so
okay.
I sent the producer a script that I had, and it was something that was totally different from anything that was coming out here for sure. You know what I mean? And that's why I thought it would, So I talked about it to him with it, and then I sent him the information. And then he has a series coming out that's about the exact same shit. You know what
Just
I
so
mean?
happened to be.
Just so happened to be. So, as an artist,
Wait, that was happening when you gave him the information? Or
no, this was after I gave like.
okay, right. That's, okay, I was making sure we was on the same page. For sure.
So it's like, I'm thinking like, as an artist, that's on like, I'm like Mr. Nice Guy, dog, but you can't fuck with my art, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, my writing, my shit, my words.
Right. I feel you.
Nigga, nigga.
I feel
You know
you.
what I mean? But at the same time, I was piping hot over other shit that was happening too. So I got here, I already know mentally, I mean, I was zoned out, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and still, like, I was just out of it, basically thinking about this shit, but also thinking about the way shit, you know what I mean? Like, that shit just make you want to go through everything. But I'm understanding too in my mind, like, this is depression shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that shit jump on you so ham. And depression and depression and anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
How can you say that shit? Them motherfuckers is like boyfriend girl. Like, them motherfuckers love each other.
Right.
They be with each other. They come to you like, yay. Like, they like compliment each other and shit. And that's some fucked up shit.
Right.
But it is. So I'm feeling that way. And then come in. Of course, she can feel me and shit. Nigga, I'm probably beat red, 190 degrees. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
your chakras was ringing and shit.
This is, but this
Like,
how the
hold on.
universe works, though, right?
I mean,
You had a little bit of battery trouble,
right.
so we said we gonna bump it back 10 minutes.
For sure.
Boom, perfectly enough time
For you to get it resolved.
for me to get resolved.
That's how God work, man.
Which
So you cost me
it was set up
$300
for
today.
me. Maybe. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just
be
kidding.
glad about that $300. You know what I mean? But
My bad.
sat there and she gave me acupuncture.
Okay.
And I wasn't new to acupuncture because a woman gave me acupuncture when I was younger and cured me of these migraines that I used to have, dog.
Right.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I know somebody stopped smoking off acupuncture.
So I was with it or whatever, but it was crazy because I started to relax and I could hear Tiffany Haddish behind me just saying everything about dicks and booties and all this other shit. But what was great was when it came to me, the whole rest for me to listen was like, when you doing what you gonna do, this the type of atmosphere it's gonna be. So what I need you to do is check in, nigga, and get what you need with everything going on.
Right.
Boom. Check right in.
Right.
Then they start checking me like, hold on, wait, like, no, what's for me is for me. And they told me this beforehand. So basically, I'm utterly disrespectful to them. Like, somebody could even do some shit that I could motherfucking do.
I feel
Because
that.
they done already told me, them motherfuckers ain't me. And I done showed it a million motherfucking times.
That's for sure. I feel you on that.
Like, don't even disrespect them on that shit. Like, that motherfucker can never be you, will never be you, and can't do shit that you can do.
Right.
So it don't even motherfucking matter.
Right.
That's flattery, motherfucker.
That's for sure. I feel that.
Flat the fuck
I
out.
feel
And
that.
it was just checking me, dog. Like, nigga, and it was just so, and I said, that's fucking voodoo.
That's what's up, bro.
It gotta be, dog. Because I was ready to kill everybody.
I feel you.
That's fucking voodoo.
That happened to me, man. Y'all remember that song? As a matter of fact, listen, we about to go back.
Okay.
On that computer you gave me long time ago.
Damn.
Right. I downloaded Fruity
That bitch
Loops
had
Studios and went crazy. Long story short, now I say this on the net. That Call Me beat by Joel Ortiz. I had a quite similar beat that came out before his song came out, but I sent the CD to Sony. And womp, womp, womp. But I feel you on that.
Tell you in LA.
But that, yeah, my feelings, I was heard about that.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? I was heard about that. Yeah, I never knew that. I was just making shit and sending it.
But
you
at
know
the
what I'm
same
saying?
time, the motherfuckers can't.
And I heard it, and I was like, that I was hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, heard about that.
But they
so
can't
I feel
be.
you on that.
No,
I feel
I will, you know what I mean? And I haven't even seen it, truthfully. And it may not be nothing like what I'm saying. It's just how those thoughts that jump in your head. But especially also, too, I should have been doing more to have my series out. Mm-hmm. So I gotta check my motherfucking self too, nigga. Hold on.
Right. I feel
it's your motherfucking fault, nigga.
I feel that.
All day. You should have been had this shit out.
And
nigga.
listen, and there you go. That goes back to that
working
question.
hard enough.
What role did I play in that? You know what I'm saying?
All that.
We talked about
I mean?
that in one of the earlier episodes, but it was just like you got to talk about what role did I play. So
now, if I get this bitch rolling in a month, nigga, we gonna call this Battery Power Productions, nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the type of shit I'm talking about,
That's
nigga. It's your nigga. It's my motherfucking fault.
No,
I have that shit been written.
I feel you on that.
I don't want to fuck with this nigga. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. All this shit. I'm telling myself all this shit while my shit not done. Then this nigga come do some shit. And I don't be mad at him. No, nigga. Be mad at your motherfucking self.
Right. That's for sure.
And it took some pins in my goddamn ears.
It took a little extra. It don't matter. Whatever it took, you was supposed to get there.
Take.
Yeah, you was supposed to be.
Oh, wait, and you was supposed to.
I want to share.
Yeah, you gonna. Okay.
I want to share just like so he gave his point of view. You know how he felt when he was in there.
Right.
So when I came in, it was different. Lights was off. Dez was sitting back here, so I just came and sat next to him. But when I sat next to him, I could feel like the fire, like he said. I'm like, and I just was going, and I kept looking at my phone like, I wonder if I got enough time. You know, I just started in my head like, do I have enough time? And then when you called, it was like ding, 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 because spirit kept going, put him in his ears, put him in his ears, put him in. And I just kept feeling it, but I'm like, shit, then we're going to start the show and he's going to have to be talking. And so then the lights stayed off, so it was just perfect. But then while he was there, like I was still just doing energy work, like I was going all of his chakras and like working on, and I told him that his heart just felt like it was like my hand got so hot and I just kept having to just throw it, like, and I even just started blowing like just to cool it down, you know, and going through as we just lowered all the way through. But that was the most challenging, and then balancing.
I ain't hear shit Tiffany had said, bro, after that. I don't believe it. That's how I know how powerful that shit is, bro. I didn't hear shit to be said. Like it was done. Like it was like it cut it. It was just, that's why I say I came out like, bro, that's a fucking voodoo.
That's how he came out of it.
How do you change it? Do you want to show them what you did?
Do we have time?
Yeah, you want to show
what
them?
Time is it? Mm-hmm.
It don't matter. We live.
That's funny.
It don't matter.
Okay.
What you do?
To who though?
You about to be upside down?
To you too, or to Tony?
No, Tony ain't gonna have it. Come over here.
Tony, you not gonna do that?
Do what?
You scared of needles?
Yeah, you not about to. Hell no. Fuck out of here. I'm not about to get stuck with shit.
Come on, man, for the show.
Nah, I'm not doing it for nobody.
It
I'm
don't
not
even
doing
hurt
it
like that, bro.
I'm not doing it.
It don't hurt. It don't hurt.
I'm gonna watch y'all do it. I'm here in a second.
I'm sorry.
It don't hurt.
No, I heard it
Okay.
good. I feel like I don't need shit. My battery fixed. I don't need nothing. Ain't nothing wrong enough in my life for me to get stuck with some motherfucking needle. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, this is some ancient shit, bro.
I ain't never seen it done though. I heard
shit go back far. Bro.
I believe it.
Okay, I don't have my.
You just walk around with barefoot with needles.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just kidding.
Right? I'm messing with you. Okay, so I'm gonna be over here with Dez. Do that for me though.
You want me to
film it for me. Make sure it's cleaned up.
Alright, you good.
So first, like I'm just gonna like spray. Usually we have just these wipes, so I'm just gonna spray inside his ears.
What's that?
Woo! Sanitizer. I just suck you. That's why you got that. Like that too. It's just a sanitizer on it. And then the needles. So the protocol I do is really for people that have been addicted to drugs and alcohol. Matula Shakur brought it here from the Black Panthers. This was a while ago. So it was like, you know, the protocol they bought to help save Black people. But going in right now, this is his shimmin. Inhale in. God. Exhale out.
I should heard it then.
And that space right there is just to help to bring down his anxiety, like helping to just really just calm him down. And now the inside is going to be his nervous system. So inhale in, Exhale out. And even just like these 2 points alone, the nervous system is just going to really calm you down the inside of your body. It's going to deal with your fight or flight and take you out of the fight or flight. And then the next one, the Shinmin, is going to like really help them get through. It's a spirit gate, open his consciousness. If you deal with anxiety, like really start to just calm down your anxiety inside of you. He might even just start to just naturally feel, like, you know, like, and you really,
it definitely make you feel fluttery.
It makes you feel fluttery. It's like,
it's fluttery than a motherfucker. You do like.
Because then too, you
you
gotta
sound like you.
understand.
No, it is, bro. Like it take you there. Because the first time, and then this time, I'm like, I ain't gonna let it do it how it did it last, and then I just fluttered down and shit, nigga, whole face.
Don't start nodding.
It's like you can't control it though.
No, you can't, bro.
It's like you can't even control it because this goal is to do what it's supposed to do. So that means that, you know, the needles weren't in long enough, or like we could have did longer. Like usually we do them, it's like 45 minutes or up to an hour, and then we put sound healing on while it's happening at the same time. But also your body, when you start to do it, like if you try to fight it, it will make you feel more fluttery because you'll be like, I'm not, just you gonna lose. Like
I feel you on that.
You gonna lose.
All right.
Like if you try to do it. Okay, inhale in. Exhale out, going in for his liver. And the liver, well, the liver does a lot of cleansing, so it does a lot of shit in the body, you know, but it's responsible for a lot. But the liver also holds anger. So meaning that if you deal with a lot of anger or things towards people or situations or things, the liver is going to make that like this nice toxic space in there for it. And if
like
you
hell raising me.
Yeah, for sure. You look like him.
For his kidney, inhale in, exhale out. There you go.
I wish tattoos felt like this.
It's okay?
Right.
No, it's perfect. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like this shit, like you, bro. I'm telling you, you don't even feel the shit, bro.
I feel that. We got Lawrence on. Lawrence tapped in on live. What up, boy?
Lungs,
Hell, Roy.
in,
You seeing Dez, man? He getting fixed right now.
and then they just stay, you know? So, like, the goal is, like, while he's going through it, like, that you don't...
How you feel? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
How you feel?
Good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Man, you really can't feel it, bro.
Let me see
I
the
ain't
other side.
gonna lie to
Let
you.
me see the other side. They in the same spot? No.
different spaces.
Okay, right. I see. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
nigga, I'm out here.
I feel you.
I'm out here. I can't hear shit, but we about to keep talking.
All right. You ain't got to say it, folks. I got
But
you.
it don't mean. But also, too,
Thank you.
I want to take the stigma away from the shit. Like, people see it, and just because we haven't been introduced to it, we think that shit
That shit
like getting needles in your
that shit
motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but
I'm looking at you with 5 needles.
But this is some ancient shit, you know what I
Okay.
mean? That people
Right.
needed and had them for doing around house to house to do this shit.
Right.
Just traveling because it was so important. This BC, this, you know what I mean? This before.
But listen, even does every organ, everything is in the ear. So you can still treat just even going in the ear or down the spine. So even in the ear, that's just a protocol for that. But then they also have one that people they call a battlefield acupuncture. So people that have been in the services and have been in the war, it's a certain protocol that they treat. They have asthma, anxiety, depression. If you list any type of illness on there, there is a protocol that can be treated in your ear. And a lot of them are alcoholism. If I show you the one for alcoholism, it's like 10 or 12 that just light up in the head. That shows you that it's not just that. It's a neurological.
Absolutely
something
right.
is going else is on with
when
the
I got
brain.
my brain scanned, that's
to
when
do
I
it.
put 2 and 2 together
Yes.
about what it was. And when he explained to me, like, listen, this is the regular brain.
Yeah.
This is what communicates with this. This communicates with this. And it was like clear pathways. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then he said, this your brain.
Right.
Everything was communicating with everything. It was crazy, dog. He was just looking like, damn, homie.
Right. That's deep.
No,
You know
it's
what I mean?
real,
Like
but
it.
it shows it. I can show it to you too afterwards, but your brain,
you have
your
no
oxygen.
control over that.
No,
you know what I mean?
don't.
So how far in is it? I'm curious.
They're not that far. I take them probably like a quarter way through.
Right.
So like when I put them in, I insert them in and I twist, and it just like pushes right up in there.
Okay.
And these are just 5. Sometimes you can do them. You usually do them on the same side of the ear, but I did them on the opposite so you could see them too.
Right.
When I had them migraines, I can't remember exactly where she put them at.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it definitely worked. So I was intrigued since then, but yeah, it definitely worked over there as far as how I was thinking and what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They look like some sweet ass earbuds.
Hey, look, low key. We should talk about that.
We might have something. Don't tell nobody. I'm gonna need some more pins in my ears. They take our shit, but
Ear pins. There we go.
Ear pins?
Yeah, ear pin. Let's do it.
We can't tell people, dog.
Man, listen. At this point, that's what I was saying earlier. You can't even get mad. I was about to say, I don't even give a fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? People steal shit, people take shit, and it's all good.
All day. I mean, shit, that's the first thing they tell you now.
I
They
know
don't
that.
get nobody's shit.
How are you feeling, Dez, though?
A ton better, because it's like it don't heal nothing for you. I mean, like as far as but it lets you know you got everything it take to deal with the shit, and
Yeah.
you gonna make the shit better for you in the long run, because that's the type of shit I've been doing my whole motherfucking life, taking that type of shit and making that shit so much better for
Right.
me, pub wise, this wise, you know what I mean. But at the same time, I understand that the reason shit be happening is because of me.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You know?
Bingo.
And I love that.
That's
I
what's up.
love that I matured to that level, because it really puts everything in perspective when you out and about. Mm-hmm. It does. When you handling business, when everything, like, it's your motherfucking fault some way, shape, or form,
Right.
and what's going on.
Right.
And the whole everything happens for a reason thing has a whole nother deal to me too, and how the universe flows, what's going on. You can't just think because you having a bad day that might not be the spark of somebody else's good day. Or as far as,
Right.
I would have never got this shit, bro, if you wasn't having problems with your car. And it may have been shitty to you, you know what I mean? But at the same time,
That's
I
the
wouldn't
balance,
be,
though. That
I'll
just
still
made me
be-
feel better about the whole
I'll still be ready to shoot a
situation.
nigga in his face.
I ain't lying.
You see what I mean?
Because I was ready to shoot a nigga in his face. Nigga sold me the wrong battery. That's what happened.
But you, and I'm sorry that happened, Tony.
You hear me though? But it ain't that shit. I'm finished.
But I knew, like,
Dez-
I knew I was gonna have to do this
Dez,
either
take
before or
it.
after the show, because it was just too strong. Like,
Right.
you know, the way it was coming, it was like, do it now, and
Right.
and I should have done it then, because then I would have had more time. Because then when you were later, it would have been even more perfect. You
Right.
know, when you
Right.
as soon as you said
I
it,
got
I'm
you.
like, Psh, let's go.
Right.
Like, I got at least 15 more minutes that these can just sit in his ear.
Yeah,
I got
the
you.
universe was like, no, she needs some more help to let her do this.
Yeah.
That's why you need
do.
a man. That's why you got a man now. See,
Yeah.
All day.
I'll grab it. Yeah, one probably fell.
Probably did, because I'm moving around and shit. I ain't really supposed to be. I ain't
Yeah, because you're not really. You're
His
supposed to be laying there in
subconscious
I'm not really
silence.
supposed to even be talking. and
dark.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
she had to tell me to shut up over there. She's like, shh.
His subconscious
But he
swallowed that bitch.
But he would.
My liver was like, I need all this.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny because I keep looking at his shirt, waiting for blood.
Okay, no, it ain't, dog. Like, it don't.
I'm just waiting on one of
Man,
them.
If somebody pinches you, it hurts way more than
Right.
what this do.
The only time
mean-
they might like be a little more sensitive is if, you know, too, if you're more highly stressed or if you're really dehydrated. It's certain things, you know, like if your stress level is like, I've, you know, had a harder time with some people, and it's like it takes a minute to calm down that organ. It means you really need it then, you know,
Right,
or even
right.
on those people, I'll magnet their ears and put magnets in them to just bring them down for like a week or so, and then I'll put the needles in. So their ear is calmer and their nervous system is calmer.
Do me a favor on your phone, bro. Google acupuncture, like when it started. See if
Okay.
they say when it started.
For sure. In the meantime, is that something that, going back to the spirituality of sex?
Yeah.
What part can you fix that?
Absolutely.
With that?
Listen,
I've seen people
no,
do
it.
don't look.
I'm asking, 'cause
Yeah,
I-
definitely.
yeah.
It's a sex protocol.
Yeah.
And it's actually in there for sexual addictions, and they also have other different sex issues in there for
They
men
made what's
and
her
women.
name
The
do that
organs are in the ear, so all of the sex organs are still in the ear, so they can
Renee.
still be treated inside of
made
Eric
the
Benet
ear.
came out of the Grand
They
Central
made
Lounge
Eric
and shit.
Benet do that.
Remember that? He was barefoot. I think he was there. He might have.
Oh, I see this nigga
He was in there
barefoot for real,
barefoot dancing and
It
shit.
helps
I was like,
sexually.
man,
You
that's
can do a
funny.
protocol for sexual addiction.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just anything. Like most elements are in there to be able to help treat
China.
You know what they
You
are.
should have known.
China. Yeah, I knew it was.
The
Yeah, I knew
needles
it
came
was.
from China.
I knew it was Oriental.
No, it was China 3,000 years ago.
But see, and
3,000 years
understanding,
ago.
like, if you look at the structure of the ear and how acupuncture is, it's like the whole birth of a baby that comes down the canal. Like, that's how we treat it. Your whole vertebrae, everything is in there. So everything is treatable in there. Every organ's in the hands and the feet, even going down the spine. Every organ is in the face. So you think when you see people, you know, sometimes like they just don't look well, but because their organs are showing up on different places in their body and their
Absolutely.
face,
Right.
and they go, "Oh, it's just this." It's like, nah,
You fucked up.
What the fuck was that?
something
This
else
big
is
ass
going
item.
on.
The
Man,
pimp.
that bitch was huge. That motherfucker was huge last
That was
week.
a
You hear
bum
me?
bum.
That shit was crazy. A bum bum. That's what that
You
was?
might want to get them because I think I'm.
Oh, here I come.
Yeah, I think I'm doing way too much. And they all about to go in a minute.
Here I come.
But like I said, like you don't.
You
see,
feeling
that's what I'm
woozy?
saying. I can feel
You
them coming out.
woozy? You feeling woozy? See, when your body automatically push that shit out, I get nervous.
Man,
Your body pushing them out. You ain't even doing it. You
It's been there for a long
subconsciously
time.
like.
I'm not
squeezing.
supposed to be talking and shit and
Not supposed
moving my head and all that old extra shit. I
Oh man,
was
this nigga
doing.
bleeding, y'all. Somebody, this nigga
It's a
bleeding.
little-
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, see, this nigga bleeding. Man, we gonna talk after the show, man. We gonna talk.
It's good for you, dog.
I need a little tissue. Yeah.
It's good for you.
There you go. Good job. Good job. Hey,
Hey, man. The ghost in the darkness ain't said shit the whole time. Thought somebody acupunctured your lips. Nigga. Now you just want to start talking shit.
May the blood be with you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my God.
Like, I mean, but just going into this, and that's why I say, like, I think meditation will help what we going through as black people, like, on a way grander level than what people, you know, give it leeway for. You know what I mean? Like, I really do think, like, better than any drug, better than any amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, when people start to understand that shit, like, we gonna take off on a level that we need to be on, but you gotta learn it. And that's all about the journey, and that's all about being here and what's going on. And that's why them rich motherfuckers were telling me that this the best time of your life, homie.
Mm-hmm.
Cause once this is over, it's over. You get all this bread, that's it.
right.
If you have motherfuckers who
I'm
love
like,
you,
I don't believe.
when you
Let
was
me
broke,
find out.
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm joking.
that's love.
Right.
People had to love you when you was broke, and we
Right.
had the opportunity to really feel that. Some people don't.
That's for sure.
Right.
That's for sure. For sure.
You know what
I just heard some crazy stories about some people I know, man, and it was just like, man, I would have never known they was growing up in this type of environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then shit started making sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole lot of shit started making sense. But, you know, I totally understand what you're saying, bro, because, you know, now I understand where they points of views on certain things. Because they came from a fucked up background, and it was way worse than what I expected, and I thought I knew them pretty well. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the same time, man, I kind of understand. It gave me a better understanding on them in general, just from where they come from and how they move.
People
in
are
general.
just coping.
Yeah.
Most of us
Everybody.
are
We
just
are-
coping.
At the same time,
At the
though.
same
That's
time,
the thing.
That's what I'm
at the
saying,
same
man.
time, and then too, like so many of us are born here with other traumas that aren't even our own.
Right.
You know, there's
Right.
just some bloodline shit that you
No,
just
all day.
That you just, and now you have compiled your own, and then you
And you gotta pay
found
for the
yourself
sins
in
of
a
your ancestors.
relationship with someone else who doesn't understand theirs, and now you've reproduced children with double the shit that's
Right.
wrong with both of you,
That
and
you
now
infused
and,
into
and
the
now
motherfucking
nobody,
kid.
and it's
Right.
right, and now
Flat out.
nobody's okay.
That shit crazy.
You know, and now you can't figure it out, and now it's this, and then you break up with that person, and then you go do the same thing with someone else,
Right, right.
or then you just keep dropping your things off, and you wonder why everybody's unstable. Like you're not protecting your energy. You know, you'd probably be more funny about somebody drinking out of a glass behind you than you would,
Right.
you know, the way people are with their sexuality.
Right, right.
You know, they get more offended. Like, don't touch that glass, but just
And people,
do all this on
if
me
you
all
could-
day.
Right.
If you could show like what
Right.
what you were sharing, like before they do it, like look, this what y'all gonna give to each other.
Yeah.
Show the concoction
Man,
of what the fuck it was.
Oh, God,
I
man.
do think motherfuckers would think about it.
For sure.
Absolutely. You should,
Hell
everybody
yeah.
should think about it.
Like, damn.
Even ahead of time. You know, you should think
Better
about
squirt in this
it.
cup before we get down, baby.
Yeah.
Because then what are you going to leave on me?
Yeah.
Too, like, what are you
Absolutely.
tainting me with that you weren't okay with?
Right.
You know, then now it's about to be left on me that I got to get figured out, and then there's no protection used. You know, how long do bodily fluids live in the body? Who knows?
I was about to say, right.
Who knows? At least 72 for a baby, right? So that's what that's what they say. The sperm lives in you, you know, about that time in order. Damn. Right. So
72 what?
like hours. So that's just
okay.
that, right?
They'd be like, what?
No, it's just that. But that's just that.
Like,
but
I'm just not
then
hearing about this.
it's just energetically, what are you leaving with somebody that they just want you? Then you find people like, I just want them. Like, I just, like, you're just inside of them or they're inside of you.
Right.
That's absolutely
crazy.
fucking horrible.
So what do they... Let me shut up.
All day.
I was about to make a joke about the chakras, but you
No, go
really
ahead.
gonna
Do
color
it.
this
Do
shit.
it.
I was about to say, so if a yellow chakra and a blue chakra make a green chakra.
That was good,
I'm
Tony.
talking shit, but yeah.
That
So-
was good.
Dude, have y'all seen that black lady? She run for office. She black Republican. She like ratchet as hell. I call it a ratchet Republican. You ever seen it
I
before?
don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about? She actually was about to run for like damn near governor or something.
Okay.
But they ran her out of there. And the reason that they ran her out of there is because she was at this meeting with everybody, and they was asking her, you know, about certain things and sex, different things like that. And she straight said, I think masturbation is having sex with a demon. And then she didn't get no more motherfucking votes and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everybody shut that shit down so motherfucking fast. But as I see shit, what spiritually, like, you know what I mean? Like, does that affect you spiritually if you're masturbating? Like, I don't.
I mean, I don't think it's anything wrong with masturbation. I think, you know, people need to come. You know, like, these are normal fluids. This calms
Keep
you
talking.
down too. It calms down your brain. This calms down your nervous system too. People feel better.
I wouldn't have made it through LA without that shit.
This is what I'm saying. People feel better after they're
I was
calmer.
making
Now,
notes with
I
my
do
motherfucking
think that
hand.
you can
Right.
have masturbation addictions. You know, and I have met some people that they would prefer masturbation like over sex, or they're so used
Yeah,
to
that's right.
masturbating that
Damn.
it's hard for them to transfer, or the only way they can come is if certain things are aligned in that way. So, and you know, men and women, I'm not just speaking of men, I'm speaking of women too, is that you can know exactly what to do.
yeah,
So,
see, nothing.
so I think there can be an overstimulation of all of it. But I
Right.
think masturbation, absolutely. I think, you know, people should, you know, even especially if you're not having sex, because those things make you feel better. You know, like they make you feel better when you do that. You know. But
I
there
wish
needs
y'all
to
could
be
hear
a
what's going on
balance
in
too,
me.
right? I heard all of that. I heard that was, you heard him the most, right? But there needs to be a balance of it. I don't think there needs to be an over addiction of it. You know, I think that, you know, should you be watching porn 7 days a week, 5 hours a day? Like, I think,
Right.
you know, there needs to be some type of like pull back on that, or maybe you need to go find a human at some point or a different space,
shit crazy. I feel you.
but not just like that.
And this
you
virtual
know?
reality shit happening now too. It's about to be over with.
What about
All that shit.
like what about 7 days a week for 10 minutes? Is that good?
7 days a week for 10 minutes. Is that
You got it
it?
down, huh? That boy, man.
Yeah, 7. I mean, I
glad
think
we
that's
wiped this shit
nice.
down.
Nigga set his watch.
Not even in here, but go ahead.
I'm glad we
Okay,
wiped it.
do you have sex outside of that?
Yeah.
And then you still do your 10
Yeah.
minutes?
Your lion chakra kicked in.
Okay.
You ain't
I mean, like, look, maybe that's your normal thing. Is that
Yeah.
normal for
I
you?
used to masturbate like 13 or 14 hours a day.
Now that's too
Damn,
much.
nigga.
Yeah.
Now that's too much.
I
So
was-
you're down to one a day now?
I could-
One a day vitamins, what that was.
Or one a
You
day?
hand rapist, nigga. I wish I. Why would you do that to
No
your hands?
calluses. I use shea butter.
Horrible. Horrible. I feel sorry for your
I
hands,
use shea
nigga.
butter.
I don't even know how to.
13 times?
When I was, because I had a very addiction. I used to have sex 4 or 5 times a day. I with different women. I used to be ridiculous.
Were you ever, and I'm not trying to be funny, were you ever in counseling for addictions?
Yeah, but when I went there,
You need some needles in your motherfucking ear, nigga.
No, you
Yeah.
keep them needles over there.
No,
Need some needles in his hand.
nigga.
Somebody shoot this nigga in the
13
hand.
times.
I mean, I just got.
Your chakra is off, nigga.
No, my chakra was shocking. Listen, I used to. I went to the addiction place and I found out I didn't really have a fucking addiction. I was just afraid of being alone. and I use that masturbation mechanism and sex mechanism as not being alone.
But was your kids there with you?
Okay.
What you mean not alone?
I'm talking about like so everything I ever loved died. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
So I would have sex with women like 2 or 3 hours just because I know they're gonna be down for a minute. You know what I mean? So I just be like, shit, I'm straight. At least I had somebody there with me. Because I had a fear of just being alone.
This is what we were talking about earlier, though.
Yeah, I had a
Thank
fear.
you for your honesty.
No, I
That's
had a
dope.
fear
I
about
feel- I
it.
understand. Oh, that's
Yeah, because and then it got worse as I got older, as far as my heightened, my sexual heightened. Man, I be like, ooh, my girl be like that, she be like that. So tonight, can we just can we be in jail?
not gonna
Right.
happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
curious
what I-
to know
I-
too, because you said 10 minutes. Is that when you're with
'cause
them
I
as
got my
well?
favorite video, and I got my favorite video.
Oh, no, not just.
That's my favorite video.
I don't even want to envision that. I'll be moving that from my head real quick.
Use
But
that.
what I meant,
Go ahead.
thank you for the more of a visual that I have to remove. But no, when you're intimate with a woman, is it 10 minutes as well?
Hell no, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It
Is she satisfied?
Oh, she more than satisfied. I tell you what,
She can tap.
yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
No, I believe that.
She got tapped the
You
fuck.
can-
She
yeah,
got tapped
I believe
the
that.
fuck. Like,
It's too much.
she
Okay.
be like, it's too much. She be like, man, come on now.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriend like, I got to call for help.
I feel you.
She,
One day we're gonna have them call in. Then, like
I'm
one
telling
day
you.
they have to call
I'll call her
in.
now. When we get over here, she'll call you like,
Yeah, I want to know if this is true.
It's very true.
That's funny as hell.
So that's
I
what's
mean,
up.
I was
Okay,
51.
that's good. But maybe you try 5 days.
So no Pornhub on Sunday. That's
Just
all I'm
maybe-
on porn on Sunday.
Big fella. And it's Sunday, man. God.
Man, this nigga
Maybe,
right
maybe you just try 5 days.
Okay.
Maybe you just try. Do you have other addictions?
No.
Okay.
here.
Yeah, maybe you just try 5 days.
Ear, nigga.
Just see. Just see if you can. Because the thing
I
is,
went weeks.
okay.
I went weeks before. It's just that, like, when I'm alone, then it pop off.
Well, see, when you're
right.
alone, though, is when you need to be more alone. Like, that's when you need to sit with yourself. You don't need to go find something else to do. You need to,
It ain't me, it's him.
well, both of you
No,
together,
Right. Take a
y'all.
Yeah, it is.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Like when I used to come home in LA and like I saw like nobody car was in the driveway. That's the first thing you used to be like, I'm about to tear this motherfucker
rub one
down.
out.
Shit, nigga, I'm home alone.
One
Like,
out.
you see,
shit
motherfucker
crazy.
thinking I. But
I think
it
more-
I feel you, though. Don't get me
I was
wrong.
alone though. That was the only time I was ever alone.
I think
Right.
most men
Ever.
masturbate alone because, after a while, because you be like, man, because your girl be like, like, I don't want to go through all that, like, stomach pains, all this shit. So I just be like, okay, I'll take care of myself.
Right.
And I do it.
That's cool, but that's why I asked you if you did it.
This show took a whole.
That's why I asked you, because anything.
just came back. I should have said shit to this
Yeah,
nigga.
you
He
did.
said
You brought
shit
this
the
up.
whole goddamn
But
show.
anything that you're going to have an issue of stopping that is going to give your heart palpitations to stop, you need to stop. It's like a form of addiction. So if me saying going from 7 days, go to 5 days, and you like, wait a second, like if that disturbs you, you need to do. No, that's not what that means.
This motherfucker.
It means that you
some
need
shit
to
in your
do
ear,
5.
Big fella.
And then maybe you need to find alternative motives to help you to get through that alone time, so it doesn't feel like alone time, so you get comfortable with the company that you keep. Because that's something else too. Like if you have a problem with being alone, like don't even talk to me, because if you don't like your company, like get the fuck away from
I
me.
feel that.
Like if you cannot sit like by yourself
You still
on
working
your
out.
own without doing something, like don't expect me to entertain you.
Well, it's not necessarily the alone. It's just that I'm more fearful of dying alone. Let me put it like that.
That's
Everybody
interesting.
gonna die alone,
So
bro.
that's
No,
a different.
no,
That's a
it's
different spin on
Trust
it,
me,
though.
it's like,
You mean die loved or
die
having
alone.
a
You saying as far as
At
having a
your-
companion? Is that what you're saying?
alone, like by
At his
myself.
house, like literally when he
Yeah.
dies, he wants to make sure
What's wrong?
somebody's
My
there
question
with
is, what's
him.
wrong with that?
Have you ever had somebody walk in and they see somebody dead?
I have.
Yeah.
The trauma it gives
I
to
have.
those people.
What about the trauma? So you rather die in front of somebody?
No,
Nigga, damn.
I'd rather, if I'm going, at least they could call for help.
You're not going to even be thinking about them.
I mean, you crazy as hell.
You're going to be dead. Nigga. You ain't thinking about them niggas. You don't know them coming in there.
I feel you on that.
But here's the reality of it. You have no control over that.
Right.
Like this is, and so this and that. So then for me, like for you, no, not really to a certain extent, because you can plan this thing out, but you don't know what the creator has planned. So it doesn't matter if you say that you're gonna, even if you were a billionaire and had maids in your house every day, if you were supposed to die alone, you're gonna fucking die alone. Mm-hmm. You know, wherever that space is supposed to be. So that's another thing. That's fear. That's a kidney issue. You know, not wanting to move past. Also maybe some root chakra issues, you know, dealing with the lower half of your body, not trusting yourself, not feeling that you have enough, not feeling that you're strong enough to do it, you know. So that's other internal things though that you can work through so you can feel okay. And then if you die alone, being okay with dying alone, you know, it's the acceptance of all, you know. That's a fearful issue, you know? Can
you spiritually have like a sex friend partner or something?
Absolutely. Do you mean you mean like somebody that works with you sexually? Absolutely. Right. There are tons of people.
And not be like a couple, you know what I mean, or not be a total couple, but let's just say that that's what y'all do with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, does that, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it works. I mean, I don't think there's any type of lines as long as people agree and respect themselves. Whatever you agree to in the bedroom, whatever two people agree to in the bedroom is what they agree to, or three people, or for whatever everyone says okay to.
Right.
You know, that's all what I'm saying. Like, whatever they say is okay to, and whatever you feel comfortable with in that space. And yeah, I don't feel like it has to be, this has to be my boyfriend, my husband, my man. It may not even be like that. Mm-hmm. You may not even connect with that person like that. And then that may happen, and then maybe one day you guys are like that, and maybe one day you're not, but it's not like, you know, attached to that space, you know. Okay. I mean, if that's what works for you. If three works for you, then three works for you.
I feel that.
Great.
Hey, this is a new world on 9 days. I'm pretty sure they got a website for that shit or something.
They might.
If three works for you, three works for you.
Triples. Yeah.
He's very educated about that. You guys know that, right?
We see.
Sexually, spiritually, sex spiritually has been my thing all the time. That's why I never had, the only bad situations I've had sexually is with my daughter's mothers. Those two demons. So, no, that was the only time I had bad.
Yo,
yeah,
he's fucking hilarious.
Those are the only 2 bad times I had bad sex.
I feel you.
The outcome.
That can go so many ways.
I don't even want to. I'm a daughter. I'm gonna let it go.
That can go so many ways. But I feel you though, bro.
Hilarious.
It's gonna work out for you though. Just so you know.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as we pass this down, like, what's the best way to tell this type of thing to people? You know what I mean? That what you're having sex is just not what you think you're leaving. Like, you know what I mean? Like how do we? Because, you know, people won't necessarily listen to this the way that we're saying it. You know what I mean? Like, they won't get a grasp of it, especially somebody who fucked up. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when we go through them things, when we was doing all that shit, we was fucked up.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can blame ourselves, we can get down on ourselves, whatever. But if you really look at the understanding of what was going on with you, you was fucked up at that time.
Yes, you
And you didn't stay that way.
Right.
That's the thing. You didn't stay that way.
Right.
So as you see these people going through this, it's like, how do you communicate that?
You know, that's tough because only the people that are going to want to hear it are the people that are going to want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, those that aren't going to believe in it, it's no sense in talking to them.
That's why I was kind of pissed off. People didn't tell me about meditation until, you know what I mean? And then once I started doing it, I was mad. Like, why y'all didn't tell me about this?
But then
shit?
they might have, and you might not have listened.
I wasn't ready for that shit then.
But I think each person can take control of their own selves and their own relationship, and then you decide. So that means if you have a list, you might need to thin this list out now, you know, after you sit with some things and look at some people and see what they have to bring to you? Is that going to help you? Like, I'm only interested in people, like, not even like I need assistance, but just like somebody that will keep you motivated or even up there, just not weaknesses in that or dealing with other weaknesses, but really trying, really affirming, really healing, moving on. You can have been through the worst shit in life, but you have found your way, or you're on a path to make it better by some path. But if somebody's just wallowing in their stuff, like, that's going to keep me low vibrating too. You have to understand, like, I work on the way I eat, the way I drink, all of these things. So if you think you're just going to squirt these chemicals, you know, bad shit in me and fuck my shit up, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. Like, if you think you're just going to come in here and infect, and that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? You can be so weak in the area that that's all it takes is somebody to do that. So if somebody is in your life like that, that is doing that, and then you're doing this on a regular basis with them, they keep low vibrating you down. Like, you're never going to make it out of there. So, like, if that's who you are, then get the fuck out of it. And if I have to explain this to you, then we shouldn't talk about this. We should talk about something like, why is the grass green? Because you don't even understand the level of consciousness I'm coming from anyway.
So
you
many
know?
relationships that we've seen that have problems, and shit like that shit right there will explain to you why. And motherfuckers like, why you ain't bounce out of this? Why you ain't, like, the spiritual aspect of that shit was weighing
they
them
can't
down.
bounce. You have to understand. It's also called, like, in spiritual terms, they call it a soul tie. So I do spells too, and I've given people spells like to untie themselves from other people. Like, they feel like, you know, because some people you like I just can't leave this bitch alone.
Wait, is the bear that draws in the backyard shit true?
No, yeah, that definitely is true. Yes, back in the day, absolutely, that's true. That women would do that, and then they would use their menstrual blood and spaghetti and things like that.
Horrible, absolutely nasty.
But it's a spell too, right?
Well,
it's a spell in doing that.
I don't want
right.
that. Don't do that spell on me.
You shouldn't.
I don't want your
I mean,
body
I'm not agreeing with it.
But
we're gonna have to edit that shit out.
We got
but the soul ties isn't just sexual, like sex, like vagina. But does it include the mouth?
It includes the mouth. You can have a soul tie with somebody. You have to understand too. This is saliva, and then too, if you're ejaculating and somebody's still swallowing you, and the semen is still in them, this is still a part of them. You see what I'm? But people don't look at it like that. And women really stand in it, and not that they shouldn't stand in it, because it's a great sexual experience. But if it's like 10 or 5 men that are doing this at the same time, baby, you need a bath and some salt water and a cleanse, because you just don't know where the rest of this stuff is coming from and how it's going to stick on you, you know, energetically or any other type of way inside of you, right? So that's why you should be particular. But it could just be one person to turn it toxic. Everybody got that auntie or that uncle, that grandfather, that one person came and fucked up their whole bloodline. You see what I'm saying? It just take one person to come in and just disseminate everything that has to go on. So just for me, I just can't stand in that. You see what I'm saying? I've worked too hard. So, you know, everything that I'm doing. So if you're going to come correct, you know, like, have yourself together, you know?
Man,
Tony, bye.
Girl like that be playing
we definitely going to ramp this at another show. We can do the whole thing on it. I got to do a part 2 to our part 3.
That's part 3.
That's part 3.
Hey, she the new co-host.
Right here. So please let everybody know how they can reach you.
Yes. Thank you.
Go and see you so they can get what you give me. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. My website, everything's on my website, www.lisahillaryj.com, HILLARYJ.com. I teach yoga classes, host wellness classes, have a nonprofit organization for the sexual assault of Black women. Literally, we've just, we had over 32 people that registered. We just awarded 13 women in the city of Detroit, Black women, a healing program for the next 3 months. So next applications are coming out in January. This will be going on for 2.5 years, and just out here doing, like, hustling, just trying to heal and hustle and make a couple dollars.
Heal and hustle. Super dope.
I'm still in that.
What's up with you, Smooth Baby?
Look, man, this is a good show. I ain't gonna lie. I learned some things. You know what I'm saying? I was ingesting a lot. You know what I mean? I still ain't hip to this needle shit. It's all good. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna bring you magnets.
I just want to know, can you do a spell on dog that sold me this bald ass battery? I want this car to stop. In the middle of the street. No, I'm just kidding.
She gonna give you a list of shit you got to get. It's gonna be. She be like, sprinkle some
Oh my gosh!
eyelash from an African
Fried turtle feet.
I'm crying.
But no, real talk.
Yeah.
It's look. Everybody who watches, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. But I ain't gonna lie, just in general, I'm very particular about who I had sex with, so I totally understand. We all done masturbated, so I totally understand. So I'm gonna say whatever you're doing, do you, but just don't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? I understand.
Yes.
Hopefully you got a better understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. So think about what you're doing before you. Everybody say it with me. Do it.
That was good. That was perfect.
And wear goggles.
And we're gonna come correctly. Whatever that means.
I want to thank you for tonight. I appreciate you so much for
Hey, she cheated on us too. She was on somebody else's podcast, so we talking about that. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. I just want to mess with you.
And as always, thanks mama for the homie.
You already know, man. That's what's up,
Baby
man.
over here.
Hey, man, we do it again.
And I thank God for where I am mentally, and it all stems from people taking accountability for what happened to them and for who they are.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate that extending on into the sex aspect of things. And also, too, like I really want people to understand what they're giving each other, because it'll explain a lot that happens after. You know what I mean? Like, it'll explain a whole lot. And I'm just going to leave you with, don't want nobody you need. See y'all next week.
Thank you.
I like it.